Hello.
Welcome to Penguins Wanderlust, the self-discovery. Today's topic is on emergency preparation, and I have as my guest today Patti Locke-Lewkowich, also known as Patti LL, and she's quite an expert on emergency preparation. So welcome, Patti.
Okay, thank you, Carolyn.
The penguins stayed in the car. So pretend they're here. So Patti lives on a small island off of Vancouver Island, and there aren't a whole lot of resources there. And we do live in an earthquake zone, so it is important for the community itself to be prepared in case there is an emergency. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about your background in emergency preparedness?
Sure. Until I moved to my little island, Piers Island, about 20 plus years ago, I did live in the city. So this can apply to city, country, more remote areas, whatever. And I'm actually part of the emergency group of the Southern Gulf Islands, so we meet on a regular basis to discuss emergency procedures and get updates, etc. what's happening.
Cool.
And we are in a definite earthquake zone, so it's
Yeah.
really important that we're up on all of this, that's for sure.
Yeah, according to the internet, we're in a 14-month cycle, and from middle February on, we've been in an extra high amount for possibly having a major earthquake. So Patti brought in her go bag, grab and go bag. That's what the government recommends that you have. So what do you have in your emergency kit?
Okay, I think this is, if you get anything from this session, this is the important thing. To have a bright colored bag like this by your door, or any kind of bag if that's it. And to have it, I'll just go through some of the things here. So first of all, it's important to have some kind of a list with you so that if your bag is found beside you, it has your name on it, some contact information, health information about yourself too.
The government does suggest you have a paper copy of your contact list. You can't really rely on electronics like your cell phone because, well, mine's out of power at the end of every day.
Okay, well that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I put the shirt in to remind people to bring something warm to put on. And if it's in the middle of the summer, you think, oh, I'll just grab and go. But if you're out for the night or whatever, it's important to have warm clothing with you and warm socks and all that kind of stuff. I've got a water container here. At home, I do have bottled water available that I change on every 6-month basis, but also just have something to put water into so that you can use it and when you find it.
So do you have bottled water as well?
Yes, yes.
Do you happen to know how much water a person needs each day?
Well, it should be at least 2 to 3 liters of water to keep your system going, and also if you're going to be outside, if it is a real emergency and you're stuck outside, it's really important to keep yourself hydrated in the hot weather, etc.
You need water for your pets too.
Yes, yeah, you would know that. And just talking about water, I just want to say this is the most important thing that I take this. I've got one at home, one in my car. I take one on vacation with me at all places. It's called a Steri pen.
It's not a vibrator.
No, I know. And I was stopped in Peru. I was stopped by somebody saying, "What is this?" And then they laughed and giggled. I said, "No, it's a water purifier." They didn't believe me. Anyway.
I've never seen one before today.
Okay, so it's very easy to use. You take the top off of this, and it comes right off easy.
Oh,
and it's got a couple of probes on it.
Right.
And then this is the device here to make sure it's working, you turn it on, and it should be flashing a green light, which it is.
Okay.
And I'm going to put it in here, and as it's flashing the light, it's going to have a red light on, and you have to keep it working in here.
So you have to keep agitating it?
Yes. Okay, here it is, and I'm putting this in, and I'm agitating it.
Right.
And
does it change color when it's ready?
yes. So I'm just, and oh, you'll see here,
Right.
you see that it's lit up.
Oh yeah, you can see the water. There's
Okay,
a bit of a glow in the water.
Yeah, and the way that this water purifier works is that it's an ultraviolet water purifier.
Right.
So it's a real state-of-the-art concept.
How long have
And-
they had these? Very long?
I've owned this for probably 8-9 years.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And as I say, I take this with me when I travel. I never use water bottles. I just purify. My water this way. Even in a train in Ecuador, where it said "Do not drink the water," I just put this in a tap, and this one guy who travels all the time on business watched me doing this, and he couldn't believe it. So you just agitate it until the light goes off. The
red light goes off, or the one
no,
at the end?
the ultraviolet.
Right.
And then when that happens and it's a green light, it means that it's worked, and if it's a red light, it means that it hasn't worked. But it was a green light, so it has purified. And then what you do, you have to use my water here. Purified water, I'm going to keep purified, and then you just have to make sure that you wipe these electrodes off really well.
So
And
it's
that's
dry
it.
when you put it away?
That's right. So
Right.
it has to be totally dry. So it's a very convenient system. Works up to a liter of water. This one that I just purified was less than a liter, so it was a little quicker. It takes about 2 minutes to purify, but it's great. It works by battery, so I do have a few batteries here with me too. But
Can you charge it? Like, it doesn't have a plug for...
no, it doesn't
just
have
straight
that.
batteries.
But it lasts. I used it 5 weeks for all the water and my daughter was traveling for about 3 months, and she didn't have to replace a battery.
Oh, really?
So
Wow.
it worked for a long
Are they
time.
fancy batteries or?
No, just ordinary AA.
Double A.
Yep.
Way to go. Cool.
And so again, go to anywhere, and I have 2 of them, and they used to be really
And they're
expensive.
called, what are they
It's
called?
called SteriPen.
SteriPen.
You could pick it up at travel stores like Robinson's in Victoria, and it used to be about $150, and the price has gone down because it's considered an emergency.
Right.
I think now it's about $75.
Oh, well worth it.
Yeah, well worth it. Okay, just a few more things to talk about here. Oh, there goes. Anyway,
You can put it in here.
yeah, that's true. Okay, toilet paper, always a good thing to have, and I put in a couple of extra plastic bags because you never know what you're going to have to carry with you. Raincoats, vinyl raincoats, really a good thing. I've got here a solar lantern. Anything that you have that is solar is a really good thing to have, because you can just hang this from, take it out of the package, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And this is
Oh yeah, I saw one of these a couple of weeks ago. Our camp had a bunch.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
really impressive.
They are. They're great. You can use it at home for emergencies,
Right.
outdoor camping. This is a good thing to have. I have one at home and in the car. Say that you you can't make it out of your house and you're there, but you right at the door, the first door people are going to find you at, you're going to have this, and people will look for you that way. If you have it that way, obviously it'll mean okay, but if you're not okay, just make sure that you have that so people can find you in bed or collapsed or wherever you are.
The government recommended having a help sign like that.
Yeah. If you need any medications, I have itchy ears once in a while, so I've got my hydrocortisone. I have a sore back, my husband and I do, so we've got our Voltaren. And so, and if you have especially prescription medications, it's important to have this in your bag and use it and then and replace it. Red Cross puts out some good emergency little kits for medical
First aid,
stuff.
yeah.
I have a wind-up flashlight in here. These are fabulous.
Are they? I had a little cheap one that you had to wind it a long time and it was quite noisy.
Okay, this is a great one.
Oh, cool.
And this is a little one.
Is that a radio?
It's a radio, so you can...
I think I have one of these somewhere around.
Yeah, and if you put this up, you get better reception.
Oh,
it
neat.
also works as a flashlight. Really, everybody should have one of these.
I should find mine.
Yeah. And they come in different sizes. That was a little one. There's also a bigger one here.
Oh, wow, that's really
And the bigger that you get, the better reception you have.
You have to do more winding for that?
No, same kind of
Oh,
winding.
cool.
Yeah. Other kind of things, goggles, because you don't know what's going to be in the air
Right.
with a true emergency.
You're
Some
losing
kind of
the,
face
lens
mask.
there, though.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a yeah. Anyway, okay,
Yeah.
we got that
And a mask.
happening. The mask, notebook to write stuff in. And a pen, of course, but
Right,
you know,
right.
if you're on your own and you're just to keep track of days for yourselves, that kind of thing
Right.
is a good idea. I'm talking about a real emergency. There's my extra batteries.
I don't have one of these grab-and-go bags.
You don't, Carolyn. This is really important. And I want you to get it by when I see you next week. I want you to tell me that you put one together. Okay, a few other important things in it. It's good to have some different packs. So I have other things. Oh, playing cards.
For your entertainment.
For your entertainment if you get really
Right.
bored. A hand sanitizer, because you want to keep yourself healthy. If you're going to be trucking at night, it's good to have a light, a headlight. Now this is important. Can you imagine if, and this isn't on my little island, but it's in the city, that if you're, this keeps on for quite a few days or weeks, you need to have some kind of money because internet Visa is not going to work. And those people that have cash are the ones that are going to be the best prepared and able to buy medications or food or whatever. Socks. Oh, Carolyn, you talked about your cell phone. This is a supercharger. This way extends your charger, it doubles it.
Right.
So
Cool.
so it's a really good thing to have. I
I
update
have a
this.
battery for mine as well.
Yeah, so it extends your battery life.
You have extra socks there.
I got extra
Check it out.
socks. Yeah.
If you want to have dry feet, our feet are quite wet because it was quite soggy over there where we first set up.
Oh, and then if you need reading glasses to read some instructions on things, that might be helpful. And then the necessity
The
of all
important
this
thing.
chocolate. I'm a chocoholic, so is my husband, so we always want to make sure that we have a store of chocolate here. And a pen to write in that notebook.
Cool.
So that's just a few things to have in, and the medical supply kit. I've got a medical supply kit here too, right at the bottom, and plastic sheeting I have, and also I have a blanket, thermal kind of a blanket. It's just a little thing like this.
Is it one of those little aluminum
Yes.
folded up
Yes.
ones?
Yes.
Important note that we learned in scouting about those is if your hands are freezing cold, you cannot unwrap those. So you should open them up
interesting.
before you get cold.
Okay, that's a really good point. Oh, and one thing that is in here, but probably at the bottom, is a whistle.
Right.
And to have a whistle that you can wear around your neck so you don't lose it. And if you end up losing your energy and you're not able to yell for help, whatever, at least you can whistle, and it's something that people will be easier, it'll be easier to find for yourself. Yeah.
And I had shown Patti that I had purchased this life straw because my family members were at Mystic Beach the one time and they didn't tell me they ran out of water, and when I went to collect them, they had a pop can on a stick and they were roasting the water over the campfire trying to purify it. So these are pretty handy to purify your water in an emergency.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is something that you, in an emergency, it shows here.
You just
put it right into it.
Yeah.
So each person should actually have one. But this here is good for everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for showing us your grab-and-go kit.
Oh, and I just want to say, this is the house one. I've got a much smaller one for the car, and it's got one of these in it, a medical emergency kit with Band-Aids and ointments and all that kind of stuff in it too. So important to have it in both car or house.
And like Patti said, if you wear glasses like I do, it's good to keep an old pair in your bag. Do you have an emergency plan to get in contact, like with your husband and the rest of your family?
Yeah, what we're going to do is basically we're going to go home. Like my husband and I live on piers, and that hopefully I can get home, but it is a bit of water in between that too.
You have to have a boat.
Well, some kind of a boat or neighbor's wood.
Or a raft.
Yeah, or something like that. Or kayak.
Yeah.
Kayak. So, but we've used, the home is going to be our place. And but if I am in Victoria, my daughter and her partner have a place there, so that's what we'll be doing there.
And does your daughter and her partner have a grab-and-go bag?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as extensive as mine yet,
Yeah.
but they do have one. Yeah.
Oh.
My daughter's a nurse, so she's well aware of that.
So do you have a pack that's full of food? Okay, they say you need the food and water.
Okay, I always have food in my car because I always have munchies, so I always have almonds and some fruit with me all the time. Dried fruit is better. And at home, our kitchen is right close to where we are, so there are a few things. Yeah, a few things to grab.
Beef jerky's always good to have.
Yeah.
They say that you should swap out your food and your water regularly to ensure they don't go past the expiry dates. One site said do it once a year, another one said to rotate them, and another one said when the time changes twice a year, that's when it's a good time to do it. And I think you had said you had been to an emergency preparedness workshop recently.
Yeah, there's sessions that go on all the time. Actually, the YouTube, just Google emergency preparedness. They'll give you further instructions on packages and things to do. That's a whole other session. I've been to sessions that have been whole day sessions.
Right.
Yeah. But there's lots of info out there, and stores such as Capital Iron is a really good resource for a lot of these emergency kits, and there are emergency places in the city as well that sells that.
And your camping equipment is also good. Like have your sleeping bags and your tent somewhere where you can grab them.
Yep.
And if you're lucky enough to have a little RV, then like that's a portable grab-and-go bag.
Yeah.
Have you experienced a major emergency yourself at all?
Well, of sorts. I first got interested in this whole emergency thing when I left home after I graduated and moved to Vancouver, and I was living on the 21st floor of a high-rise.
Oh, wow.
And which was wonderful, view of English Bay. But there was a slight tremor happen one day, and I was up there, and it was quite a tremor. And that really got me thinking, oh my God. And there was also a couple of fire warnings. And did you know that the firemen's ladders...
8 stories.
Well, I think it's 10 now, but it's somewhere between...
When I was